When I was growing up, and my mom and stepdad, we would go up to West Virginia every Christmas, and Nana and MiMi would have graham cracker pie. But we've got a function to go to tonight, and this is a little bit different, but I thought I'd share with you guys one of the best recipes I've ever had. Matter of fact, it's in my safe is where it stays, and it comes out Christmas and Thanksgiving. So we call this graham cracker pie. Today I'm going to be making a double batch, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down for a single batch for you guys. So the first thing you do is you start off with 16 graham crackers. This is to make the homemade pie crust. I don't have any Ziploc bags. I ran out of them bagging fish. So what I'm going to do is crush these. You're going to want to get a rolling pin and just kind of mash down on them, get them broke up best you can, and then scatter them out. And we'll crush those real quick. So now we have our graham crackers all broken up. They should look like this. All right. In this bowl, you've got your graham crackers crushed, 16. In this cup, you've got a teaspoon of flour, a quarter cup of granulated sugar, and a quarter to a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And you're gonna melt a third of a cup of butter, and this is gonna make your pie crust. We'll dump all our dry ingredients together. Give that a little hand mix, kind of toss it. Make sure you get all that sugar and cinnamon mixed in and flour. It already smells amazing. Now that you got your dry mixed in, go ahead and pour that third of a cup of butter in. You might just kind of stir as you go a little. And this makes the absolute best pie crust ever. We're gonna pan this pan just a little bit. I'm not sure if that's with 2 M's or 1. And then we're gonna use about 3/4 of this, okay, for our crust. And then the rest of it we're gonna save. You just work that around the edges. So you guys will need to separate 3 whites from yolks. The filling is going to take whites, and the meringue will take the whites, and the filling will take the yolks. So right now we're making filling. I'm gonna have to transfer bowls, but you need 3 egg yolks.
Not 6.
3. I need 3. But I'm doing a double batch. So 3 egg yolks.
Are you going to post the recipe?
A teaspoon of Niller. Just kind of mix them up a little bit. I need 2 cups of milk. Now we're gonna give that a little mix.
Does it matter that you used a dry ingredient measuring cup instead of a liquid?
Probably not to me. It might to some. Now that we got that done, we're gonna start stirring in our dry ingredients. Your dry ingredients is a half a cup of sugar. You're gonna need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then your wet ingredients, of course, will be the 3 egg yolks, 2 cups of milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Guys, we've been stirring on this for just a minute or 2. You need to lightly stir as you cook this stuff, as it heats. And when this happens, it happens fast. It'll start kind of boiling, and it's doing that now. just barely. But at that point, you want to kind of give it a gentle whisking, and it'll start getting thicker and thicker. You want it just a medium thick. I mean, it doesn't take but just a second, it starts. At this point, we'll turn it down a little and just let it keep going. You see that boil start, you're going to want to go ahead and turn the heat down some. And I'd call that about a medium thick, right there. See how that's thickened up? And you softly, gently pour this in. Next, we're going to put a dash or two. That's one. That's 2 dashes. We'll call it 2 dashes of cream of tartar into the egg whites. This is for your cow slobber meringue. All right, guys. Now we got to stir in a little something, something. We're gonna get this. Did you preheat that?
No.
Go ahead and preheat that up to 350. Lovely assistant. Now we need to fold in.
You sure that's mixed enough?
Yeah. It says fold in 3 tablespoons of sugar.
That's a lot.
I agree.
No, I mean like your spoon is larger than.
That's okay. We're gonna fold it in. Just fold it in. Just fold it in. You don't want to get wild because you'll ruin your meringue. You don't want to ruin your meringue. It starts to fall the more you mess with it. So just gently fold that sugar in.
You think you should mix it a little more?
No, absolutely not. I think we're good. I'd say that's about folded in enough. Y'all watch here. We're just gonna kind of gently put it across the top of that pie. Golly. Look here. Then we're going to very, very gently pull that around. It's a lot of cow slobber there, y'all. Oh, got a little overzealous. Look here, y'all. This is the most important part. You want to spike it, take a spoon and hit that pie. See if you can get some of it to stand up a little taller than the others. Some of it wants to, but some of it don't. I think that looks fine, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you eat that pie? I did. All right, guys. Last, but absolutely not least. Look here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just kind of make that thing look pretty. Oh my goodness.
You bake.
Then you bake
For what?
till it gets brown on top, like little, you know.
350.
Yeah, 350 till the meringue starts browning up a little bit. Guys, I'm telling you, it's the best pie you're ever going to eat. So that was Nana's recipe, and Nana passed away 20 plus years ago, and she was in her mid to late 90s, best of my recollection. And MiMi was her daughter, and she was, Eleanor was her name, but MiMi and Nana were down when I was a young kid. I was probably, I would say 10 or 11 when they were down, and I had them sit down at the kitchen table because I was such a huge fan of that pie. God, it was good. And I said, I want y'all to write that recipe. I want that recipe. And so that's the recipe that I use. It's in my gun safe, so it's locked up in my safe. That's there's some possessions in there. If you ever robbed me, you wouldn't get anything you wanted. Probably you'd get some really good recipes, a few decent guns, but you know, most of that stuff in there is something I've got my grandfather's old whetstone, stuff like that means something to me that can't be replaced. I've got a top from when I was a kid that, you know, at 35, I went down to my uncle's house because I remembered at 4 years old, I'd spun that top and it jumped under the cabinets. And he, being like most uncles, was like, I ain't tearing a toe kick off that cabinet if you get the top, boy. And when you get older, it's funny the things that they'll let you get away with. So I went down there one day, and I'm a plumber, and I've got a camera that I run in pipes to see if they're clogged or whatever. And I went down and found that top one day, and he said, boy, it was in there, wasn't it? And I said, yeah, it was in there. And so I got my top back. Stuff like that. Those are the things I keep hold of, like a lot of y'all do. But that recipe's pretty important to me. And I was making that pie, and my mom texted me that she had seen on Facebook that, of course they're no longer together, but Mom had seen on Facebook that MiMi had passed away probably 5 minutes after I stuck that pie in the fridge to cool. So she was a great lady, and I guess we'll just do this in her remembrance, but I'll go ahead and post it. If you're watching it, obviously I did, but I want to thank you guys so much. I do. I appreciate you watching. Y'all try that pie. I promise you, it's absolutely amazing. And an amazing lady wrote it, and an amazing lady kept up with that recipe in her head. They sat down at the kitchen table and wrote that out, and she told her everything to put in it. So thank y'all again. I hope it blesses you as much as it has me over the years. And we'll catch you on the next one.